Hey guys, it's Kristine. Welcome back to my channel where I talk about budgeting in my bullet journal. So in today's video, we're going to do November paycheck number 1 closeout. Basically, this is where I go over my numbers from the 2 weeks encompassed in this budget, and then we're going to see how much money I have left over at the end, and then we're going to do the allocation to roll over into paycheck number 2 budget. Anyway, if that sounds like something you're interested in seeing, keep watching. All right, so today is actually November 19th. I got paid November 16th, so I was supposed to do this closeout on the 15th. And as you can see, I did do it. Here, I make sure now that even if I'm not posting or filming videos, that I go ahead and do my budget anyway, because I can't really move on with my next budget until I close out this one. So I'm just going to go over this with you, and if you stick around to the end, I'm going to explain the numbers right here on the side. If you've seen my other closeout videos, you know that I shuffle the money around when I've had negative spending, or you know what I mean. Anyway, let me stick this over here. All right, so first I'm going to go over what these different columns are. I've got what I'm starting with, check-in number 1, check-in number 2, and closeout. So for starting, I have my rollover from the previous budget in this column, and then this is the money that I added in this budget in this column. So my new total then, or my working total for the budget, will be in this third column here. Now for check-in number 1 and check-in number 2, I go over the money I spent. So week 1, money spent, and then total left. And then the total spent for week 2, and then the total left. And then in the closeout, I go ahead and add up the total spent columns. And then I subtract the working total here, or I subtract the total spent from the working total, and then I get my ending total. And then these two columns should match up. If they don't, that means I did something wrong in the calculation, and that is how I'm able to catch any mistakes. But yeah, so let's just get to this. So for my work gas, I started with $99.45. I spent a total of $50, and I am ending with $49.45. For groceries, I did start with $130. I spent a total of $87.94, and that leaves me with $42.06 to roll over. In household, I started with $76.08. I spent a total of $21.66, and that leaves me with $54.42. Eating out, I started with $70. I spent $130, so I'm in the negative for $60. In copays, I started with $99.90. I didn't spend anything, so I'm left with $99.90. For meds, I started with $45.32. I didn't spend anything, so I'm left with $45.32. For allowance, I did start with $60. I spent $47.46, and I'm left with $12.54. Fund money, I didn't start with anything. I didn't spend anything, so I'm left with nothing. Uncategorized, I started with $20. I spent $9.77, and that leaves me with $10.23. So all in all, in this group, I started with $600.75. I spent $346.83, and I'm left with $253.92. Now in my travel group, I started with $140 in my travel gas. I spent $126.29, so I'm left with $13.71. For hotel, I started with $453.65. I spent $189.29, so I'm left with $264.36. This bit is a little bit different because I did put a payment using these funds towards my debt, and then this money right here, the $189.29, is still technically on my credit card. So if you haven't seen my debt videos, my debt update videos, I'll go ahead and link that. But that will explain more how I'm paying off that debt and how I calculate how much I've spent for the hotels. If you're new here, I was traveling to see my daughter play. She's a collegiate athlete, and her season spanned from like August to November. So she's done now. That's why I didn't spend anything in this week too. But I did rack up a lot of hotel costs, and that's what the debt videos talk about more in detail. Anyway, so for parking, I did start with $62.72. I only spent $10, so I've got $52.72 left. For tickets, I have $58.03 to start with. I only spent $30.50, and I'm left with $27.53. So all in all, I started with $714.40. I spent $356.08, and I'm left with $358.32. So my daughter is away at college, so I do help her out with some grocery money. She does get money for, for food and whatnot, but sometimes it's not enough, so I help her out, especially if it's like either specialty foods or like bulk items. And I also help her out with laundry money. It's just something that we have agreed upon, and I am comfortable helping her with, as Anyway, I started the food, etc. category for her with $50.80. We spent $48.40, so I'm left with $2.40. For laundry money, we did start with $40. I spent $40, so there's $0 left in there. And for other, there's nothing. Starting in other, we didn't spend anything in other, and so we're left with nothing. So all in all, we started her group of categories with $90.80. You spent $88.40, and so that's left with $2.40. So down here are my sinking funds. These are rarely used, but as you will see, I did finally use them. So for hair, I spent I started with $250. I spent $200, and so I'm left with $50. For brows, I started with $148.09. I spent $100. This is for a deposit, and so I'm left with $48.09. Car maintenance, I had $298.19. I spent $266.66. So I'm left with $31.53. And gifts and giving, I started with $27.96. I didn't spend anything, and I'm left with $27.96. And I will be using that money towards a 400 subscriber giveaway. So if you keep watching, we will talk a little bit about that. So for subscriptions, I started with $32.39. I didn't spend anything, so I'm left with $32.39. And all in all, for sinking funds, I had $756.63 to start, and I spent $566.66, and I rolling over $189.97. New on the bottom here, I don't know if you guys can see that. I did add Santa Saver on there. It's like a dark green marker, which I regret now, but it's all right. So I did have a Santa Saver that I had started probably earlier this year, or maybe at the end of last year. I don't remember. And I was putting money towards it periodically. I stopped for a while because of the travel, but I had $500 in there and I wanted to save that up for Christmas presents. So I decided to give it its own line here. I had $500.18. I spent $33.87, and now I'm left with $466.31. Okay, now this is the part that gets a little bit tricky because I had some transactions that hadn't posted yet and I wanted to make sure that my numbers were correct. So I actually didn't even do this on the Tuesday before my next paycheck had come in. I did it like, I think Wednesday or Thursday, which is another reason why this video is late being filmed. These variable expenses and my travel expenses sit in the same account. So the top half of the page, basically. So that had $355. Can you guys see that? I'm gonna write it straight. 355.25. So that's how much money I had in there to start. And I usually start with the travel category because this is what's important to me. So this I kept at $13.71. I did not zero this out. So after all the payments that I made, I was left with 30 cents here. And then $52.72 was left for parking, $27.53 for tickets. So all in all, that was $94.26. So that leaves me with $260.99. I'm going over this with you guys, even though I've already done it, just so I can explain like what it is that I do at the end. Okay, so I have $260.99 left. For gas, this is not even necessarily work gas anymore, because I am eliminating this group down here because we're not traveling anymore. So this is going to stay at $49.95. What I decided is that any money that I have left over in gas, just like I had prior to August, I'm going to kind of just keep it in there and save it up for the times that I do go visit my daughter, which will no longer be weekly at this point in time. Because it does cost about $140 in gas to go back and forth to see her. So it's a lot. So for groceries, I'm keeping that at $42.06. Thanksgiving is coming, and I don't have a separate Thanksgiving food fund. So I am going to roll that over to the next budget. That way I'm sure to have a little bit of money for Thanksgiving food. And we have decided we're not going to go to my aunt's in SoCal for Thanksgiving because I have to work Friday after Thanksgiving, and it's just a lot to have to drive back and forth on Thursday. And I've done that before, I think in either 2018 or 2019, and it was difficult. So that's that. So we're going to skip household, and I'll show you why in a little bit. For eating out, because it's a -60, I am zeroing that out. And again, because that's -60, I am going to have to take money out of here. If you could see that in pencil already, then you know how much I'm putting towards that. But we're going to pretend that's not there. Copays, I am putting this at $99.90. I toyed with the idea of like switching these up, putting the $99.90 in meds and then the $45.32 in copays. But I think I'm just going to do that in the next budget. Like, in the next budget closeout, because I don't really know how much my medications are going to cost. Well, I do now that I'm filming this, but at the time that I did this closeout for myself, like, I didn't know. So we'll just keep it that way for now. And then so meds is $45.32. Allowance is $12.54. Now, I usually zero out my allowance when I've gone negative in other categories, but because I am going to start, or I'm trying to do like a savings challenge. If you guys haven't seen, what did I do with it? Liz's Christmas movie snarky bingo. I did print this out. This black and white, the monochrome, does not do this justice, because the way she has it with a dark blue looks so amazing. Like, it's so cool. Like, if I had the extra, ideally I would probably print this on cardstock in full color, and that would make it really fancy looking. But I'm just playing it by myself, so I just did it black and white on regular paper. And so I have decided that I'm gonna use some of my allowance money to play that, like watch a cheesy Christmas movie, play the bingo, and then whatever money I save from it, I actually haven't decided yet what I was going to do. Tentatively, it will go into my stock slices with Schwab, which is what I was doing previously. So that's just another fun way to start that up again. So fun money has got 0. Uncategorized did have 1023, but I am zeroing that out. So how I come up with that 1172 up at the top. Let me show you how I actually do this. I start out with the most important. So for me, it's copays. And then meds, because those I definitely do not want to change. And then I decided the gas and car was important, and then that the groceries was important. And then I had my allowance, and I decided that I wanted to keep money in there instead of putting it all in household. So that leaves me with 1172. And that should all add up. Down here for daughter, I just leave it the way it is. I didn't go negative in any of those categories, so that should be fine. I would say the same thing with these, but I did change it up. So I'm going to go over that with you guys. So for beauty, I decided to zero that out, and I put it all in my brows fund. Now, if you guys watched my videos, you'll know that I made an appointment for December to get my brows touched up. I do get them microbladed, and the deposit was $100, and I'm anticipating the rest of it will be over $100. Possibly even $200. I am not exactly sure. But yeah, so that's why I rated the hair fund and put it all in my brows fund. So this is $27.96. And then subscriptions is $32.39. Okay, so this one is $31.53. This is 0. And this is $189.97. So that is that. And I will go ahead and put that up for you. So if you made it this far, I want to thank you so much for supporting my channel by watching the videos. Please hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. As I have mentioned in previous videos, I did hit 400. It kind of fluctuated a little bit there for a while, but I'm, knock on wood, pretty steady at 400 right now. So I'm going to do a $25 Etsy gift card giveaway. And so how I'm doing this, I'm going to go over how I'm doing this. So full rules and stuff will be posted down below on a Google Doc, or actually I might just copy and paste it into the description box. I'm not sure yet. But so the gist of it is you have to be publicly subscribed. You have to have a valid Gmail account that is linked to your YouTube account. Now, whether you have 2 Gmail accounts and you want to give me a separate Gmail account than what's linked to your YouTube account, that is up to you. The point is you have to have access to the email that is linked to this YouTube account. So that allows you to go back and change your comment, and that is how I'm going to verify that it is you that has won, like if you do win. So how to enter, you're going to comment on the videos that I post, starting with this one, until my November paycheck number 2 closeout. So each comment will enter you in the drawing. This is limited to 1 entry per video. So if you comment like 3 times on a video, you're only getting entered once. You can opt out. Oops. You can opt out. Like if you want to comment, but you don't necessarily want to play along, just let me know. But basically after this video, I am going to do my budget with me video for November paycheck number 2. I'll have my check-in number 1, my check-in number 2. Can't see my fingers. So budget with me, check-in 1, check-in 2, and then the closeout video. Is that it? Is that everything? Okay, so the way the dates fall, I will probably have like a bujo with me for December, like my December bullet journal setup, and also my December budget setup. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 videos. If I have any bonus videos in there, that will count too. The main thing is this contest will close 48 hours after I post the video for November paycheck number 2. Close out. Okay. You have to be 18 years old or older. This is free to enter to win. No purchase is necessary. And this contest is not sponsored or linked to, YouTube or Etsy. This is just something fun that I want to do to kind of give back to you guys. And I wanted to open it up to several videos in succession. That way I also know, like, you're actually watching my videos and you're actually like, one of the subscribers that I want to thank. I mean, I want to thank all you guys, obviously, but, we're on a budget. So I want to make sure that it's not just some random person looking for a giveaway that wins this. So this is going to draw out for a little bit. I am projecting probably around December. If I stick to my schedule, it'll be around December 2. Because, like making the videos, editing the videos, posting videos, sometimes it takes a lot of time, and this is the holiday season. I don't think I can commit to December 2, but definitely I can commit to the November number 2 paycheck closeout. So that's when this contest closes. I'm not sure what else to go over. My first giveaway, I did have very detailed instructions, so I'll probably do that again, but I'm not going to go over it with you guys. Because then this video would be super long. It probably already is super long. This is $25 US. So if you live in another country and you can't use the US dollar Etsy gift card, I'm really sorry. If you want to enter anyway and see if that's something that you're able to use, like if there is some way, if you're in another country, to use, an Etsy gift card in US denominations, then by all means, give it a try. I mean, I'm leaving that up to you, but you also release me of any hiccups that go along with that, because you're going into this knowingly. You're accepting the terms if you do enter. So anyway, that is it. I hope I went over that well. I'm not sure I'm going to mention this every time in the video, but I will probably reference this video in future. Just to let you know that this is still continuing. Anyway, if you liked this video closeout, I will link up another video that you might be interested in. Again, thank you so very much for watching and supporting my channel, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye, guys.